I played thousands of games. And yet, my rating did not increase in the slightest. I spent months listening to chess gurus. I was grinding puzzles. I was watching YouTube videos. I was reading every single chess book I could get my hands on. But all of that just didn't seem to matter. I started to get more frustrated and more angry with myself. And I was thinking that maybe it just was all my fault. Like maybe I just wasn't good enough. I wasn't skilled enough. And maybe I should just quit. And that's when I realized the problem wasn't with my skill. No, it was all in my head. What's up everyone, Fide Master Hari here, and today I want to be sharing with you your worst chess nightmare, chess plateauing. Now I plateaued for around 6 to 7 months before I discovered these 3 psychological mistakes that I was making in my chess. And once I was able to fix these mistakes, I jumped all the way up to 2200. Now, let's dive into the first mistake that you're making. The most common mistake that a lot of players face is that they overanalyze their own rating and others' ratings. So they already have an opinion about what the game is going to look like before the game even started. And this often stems from anxiety or some kind of issue with their own rating or their opponent's rating. Because oftentimes, a lot of players, when they're playing up, they already have this sense of dread that they're going to lose and that their opponent's going to crush them. And when they're playing down, some people, they're extremely overconfident that they're going to beat their opponent, and other people are scared actually when they're playing down because they're afraid that their lower rated opponent might be able to beat them somehow, and they'll be thinking about the amount of rating that they're going to lose or the amount of rating that they're going to win, and they get hyper fixated over that number instead of trying to play the best chess that's possible. And when you get hyper fixated over these rating points and over these numbers, and you start jumping over every time you win or lose a game, it often causes you to act irrational in your games. So that's actually what happened in my game, where I was playing a lower rated player, and because I saw he was so much lower rated than me, I didn't want to lose that rating points. So I was like, okay, no matter what, I had to win this game. And that forced me to make bad decisions and play moves that were definitely not good, that I knew weren't good, but I had to play them to go for the win. So I will show you that game right now. So here we can see I was playing a young player, and he was around 2215. I was around 2350. And the backdrop for this game was I had lost, I think, the previous game. So I was extremely mad and frustrated, and I wanted to recoup those rating back. And that's kind of what causes a lot of people to act this way, and me, because I just wanted my rating back. And I was like, okay, if I beat them, then I'll only be down 10 points. I'll only be down 15 points. And I know a lot of people relate to this, and they kind of count the rating that they're down, and they try to see, oh, if I win these many games, I'll be down this much, or I'll be up this much. I'll finally break my plateau, or I'll finally hit this mark. But a lot of times that just causes more stress than actually helpfulness. So we just played some sideline in the Queen's Gambit. All of this isn't too important, but this is where the important stuff happened in this game. He started repeating moves here. So this is considered one of the best ways to play, and I don't have a better response here than repeating moves. And I knew this, but I just wanted to win. I just really wanted to win. And I knew that if I didn't repeat moves and I played a sideline, it would be a lot worse for me, and I would probably be struggling the whole rest of the game. That's what I decided to do because I was on almost tilt, frankly. I was like, yeah, I'm going to beat him. I'm going to just crush this guy. He's 2215. I'm this big guy, I'm going to beat him. He's nothing against me. I just kind of held my ego super high and didn't take that draw. I was black as well. If I did it now, yeah, I would take the draw and play a different line. I mean, this wasn't even the best line to play, and this was the only thing I knew. So already, if I knew this was a draw, I should have definitely played a different line to play more aggressive chess and safe chess. That's the problem. It's okay to play aggressively, and it's good actually to play aggressively and play chess that has a lot of chances. But it's not good when you're playing chess and your opponent, and you're playing bad chess on purpose because you're trying to win. So that's where I kind of went wrong in this game. And this game, funnily enough, I actually played this exact game, this exact same way that I declined a draw, and it worked out for me, I think a couple months ago. So I was like thinking, okay, I'll do the same thing. But here you can already see it's losing for black. And I knew this. I knew this was all losing, this line. I was already upset that he played knight takes because, okay, it is the only move here. But after this, I was upset he played knight takes f8, sorry. And I knew this whole line was completely losing because this exact same line I played against one of my previous opponents. And it managed to work out my favor. But, after analyzing it with the computer, after that game was concluded, I realized that this was actually a blunder on my part. But I played it regardless because I was praying that he would not see the killer continuation that basically he found in the game. So we played knight takes, and I played queen takes h4. I'm attacking this f2 pawn. I was like, okay, there's no way he's going to see king d2. And he played it. He played king d2. I was like, no way. I think I was almost shivering after he played king d2. I mean, this is a brilliancy. He moves his king out the way. It almost makes no sense. He's moving his king out, but, to stop checkmate. And, he's like, what? Can I just take this with check? Can I take it with the knight? But it's actually beautiful because any other move you play here, it's almost better for black, honestly. The most natural move, and the move that my opponent played in the last game, was knight c7. And this, this is actually better for black. Knight c7, and then you play queen c2. And if you take here, and everything's protected, and you try to win this knight, right? But sadly, this doesn't really work because you can't really castle here because this pawn was hanging. But king d2, you're defending this f2 pawn. You're not defending this f2 pawn, sorry. You're counterattacking the knight on h1. And you're indirectly defending it because you're not getting checkmated, I should say. But if you defend it normally, like let's say queen e2, you just take the knight and you can't even castle because this pawn's hanging. So that's why king d2 is a brilliancy, because you're unleashing the discovered attack on the knight. And here, black's busted. If black plays queen takes, knight e2. And you can't take this knight because this knight's hanging right there. And if you play knight takes, I have this beautiful move, queen b3. And if you take queen takes b7, and at first glance, if you played this, I probably would have castled blundered mate in one. I didn't even see this. Queen h7 is a beautiful move. Any move he makes, it's beautiful. If you play rook d8, bishop g6, queen f7 checkmate, rook d8, bishop h6, g6, queen f7. I mean, it's a beautiful sequence, and you're just dropping the rook. I didn't see that, so that's why I played this move. And I don't think he saw it either. But he played knight g7, and he just got the better endgame after knight f5. And I knew all of this was losing, and I still decided to play it because I was like, yeah, there's no way he's gonna see this, right? He's only like a 2200. Like I'm so much better than him, right? And that ego is what causes me to lose, and what causes a lot of other players to lose, is that they have this big ego, or they have this really small ego when they're playing up. They believe that they can't beat their opponents. But that's just the wrong way to think about it. But the most important takeaway is that, the more you obsess with rating, the more you try to get it, the less it'll come. Because I was stuck at 1900 for a while, and I was stuck at 2100 for a while. I had a great World Open in 2100 to almost push to 2200, and I started trying so hard, and every loss, it almost broke me because I was this close to getting to my goal of 2200, and all of that work I was doing for 2200, and I just couldn't get it that tournament. I actually lost 40 points after having a phenomenal start. And if you just keep on thinking about your rating, then you're just not going to find peace with yourself. Not just peace with yourself, you're not going to be able to enjoy chess. And that's what it's really about, If you let these numbers kind of dictate the way that you think of chess, then I think the rating's never going to come. Because a lot of times, the things that come to you, you don't look for them. They just find you themselves. As long as you're playing better chess, the rating will find you. So then you might be asking yourself, hey Hari, how exactly do I combat my rating nervousness? Well, for rating nervousness in online chess, one of the most important and crucial tools that you can use is Zen mode. Now with Zen mode, you're not going to be able to see your opponent's ratings, so you won't really have any fear if your opponent's higher than you or your opponent's lower than you, and you can focus on playing the best chess possible without getting worried about the rating that you win or you lose. And for over the board chess, one of the most important things that I did before my rounds was I did meditation and I did some breathing before the rounds. Now this really helps to calm yourself down before the rounds, and it kind of puts all the thoughts aside that you had from the previous games back in the back burner, so that doesn't impact your current play when you're playing your current round. Because a lot of times, when we lose a game, we're trying to win it back and we get angry, and we put that anger in our chess play, in our chessboard, and sometimes we make really stupid moves. And through meditation and through breathing, we're able to control ourselves and we're able to calm ourselves down and just focus on playing good chess. The second biggest psychological mistake that a lot of players are making is that they're mentally exhausted before the round even starts. And this usually happens the night before. Like, for example, we all scroll reels at like 2 a.m. We're playing bullet chess at 3 a.m. We're watching the next Netflix series at 4 a.m. And then by the time we go to sleep, it's 5 a.m. and the round is at 10:30. So, we get 5 hours of sleep and we wake up 30 minutes before the round, and we go to the round 20 minutes late, no sleep, no food, and we just collapse in the board and sleep on the board. And I personally right now I wake up at 4 a.m. and that's kind of the norm for me, but I'd obviously I don't even want to imagine waking up at 10:30 a.m. for a chess tournament. That sounds horrific for me. I don't wish that upon anyone. And I wish I could time travel. I wish I could get those 2 hours, 3 hours back, so I get that 7 hours of sleep. But, I can't. So the tournament director will probably just kick me out after I come to my round like 2 hours late to get my beauty sleep, But, we got to start sleeping at like 11 a.m., 12 p.m., 10 a.m. Wait, not 10 a.m. Sorry, 10 p.m., 11 p.m., 12 p.m. That's even worse than my current sleep schedule. Yeah, sorry about that. But yeah, you got to start sleeping pretty early, and then you got to start eating, because when I used to play in tournaments, I didn't even eat before the rounds because I woke up 20 minutes before the tournament started and I went 15 minutes late to the round. And without eating, the only thing that was in my head during those morning rounds was what was I going to eat after that round finished. I think Taco Bell was probably the play that one time, but I did go to some pizza shop, and yeah, I got stomach food poisoning or whatever. And yeah, I low-key did not do very well in that tournament. But gotta make sure you're eating those before the game, at least an hour before, because a lot of times when people eat, they get really full and then they play their game and they're already like drowsy. If the next tournament you go to in the morning rounds, check how many people are snoozing on the tournament table. It's got to be at least, I guarantee it has to be at least 3 people in the tournament hall who are putting their head down and trying to sleep. But eat those breakfasts, get that beauty sleep, and then the last thing that you got to do is you got to make sure that you're energized, your mind is energized for those really late games, especially those games that take 5 to 6 hours. One of the most important things that I do to maintain focus throughout the entire chess tournament is I go on walks, periodic walks, especially after my move. After I complete my move, I go on like 2 to 3 minute walks around the tournament hall, and for me, that gives me the energy to keep on playing, because I don't think anyone can sit for 3-4 hours straight and just calculate lines and just calculate the whole game entirely. But you need those breaks. And what I like to do during those breaks is I like to go to the bathroom and I like to wash my face with cold water, especially on those days where I didn't really sleep very well, because it kind of acts like a nervous system trigger shock, and then I get pretty awake. And I start playing a little bit better, and I still end up losing probably because I have like 4 hours of sleep, but it's progress, from 4 hours to 5 hours, and then slowly I'm gonna wake my way up to 8 hours of sleep, and then I'm gonna be winning my games. But I'm gonna start waking up early, getting re-energized, and because your brain is a muscle, you need to give it some rest. It's not gonna be constantly running, so that's why walking and washing your face with cold water really helps. And for online chess, of course, you need to take those breaks as well. every 60 minutes, you got to take a 10-minute break, because everyone likes to play bullet for like 4 or 5 hours at a time. But then after that 30th game, your rating's straight free fall. And then next thing you realize, you're going to wake up in the morning and you're like, oh, I'm at 2,000 elo. I lost all my elo. So if you do all of these and you keep your physical health, because that is really important, especially for the long games, you get really tired really easily. So, as long as you keep those, you have good sleep, you eat well, you take those necessary breaks, I promise you, for that next tournament, you're going to be at a league above all your other competition, because they're not really sleeping that well and they're not really eating that well. And by doing all this, you're basically priming your brain to do the best it can, and you're going to be dominating all your competition. The biggest mistake that keeps everyone from achieving their rating goals is training inconsistency. We all have that 3 a.m. motivation. We're like, all right, I'm going to become a GM. I'm going to study 20 hours this week. I'm going to study 40 hours this week, 8 hours every day from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. I'm going to study every single day. And then, when it comes time to study 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., you realize you have work, you have school, and you can't do all of that. So you don't even study chess for the next month. And then you play in your next tournament, and then you go 0 out of 9. And then you're wondering, gee, how did I lose all my games? I thought I was locked. But when that happens, it's usually because you're not spending that little time every day to study. You can start off small. You can start out with 5 minutes every day. Like, you can be studying chess, but you can be studying inconsistency. So even if you do study opening, study endgames, but you only study like 45 minutes every week, then it's not really going to compound over time, and you're not really going to be learning. So if you study just 30 minutes every day, regardless of the day, every single day, without any exceptions, you don't have to do more, you don't have to do less, and start off with 5 minutes. You start with 5 minutes and spend 5 minutes not just playing blitz games online, but actually studying on the weaknesses. So how do you pinpoint your weaknesses? You can look at your prior games, or take like a list of like 20 games and look through each one and find where the critical mistake happened. So where the engine evaluation jumps, or where you pretty much realize that you lost the game. And each of those points, there's going to be a commonality between all of them. Like for me, it was the opening. I was dead lost on move 15, and I just got destroyed from then on. So I realized that I had to work on my opening, and that's what I toned in on the most. And I started mastering one opening, and that's what helped me break all the way to 2200. Now, for other people, it might be positional understanding. Like maybe you're not an expert at a certain pawn structure, so you read up on that pawn structure, you look at some peer games. So I think looking at how your peers play is a lot more important than GM games, because your peers are not going to be playing like GMs. The 2000 club player is not going to be Magnus Carlsen, and they're not going to play the same ideas. So by going on Lead Chess and looking at those same rated games where they're rated similar to you, you can kind of understand how your opponent plays, and you get that edge because you know what they're thinking, you know what the plans are possibly going to be that they're going to play, and you can prepare against that consistently every single day, a little bit by little bit. But the bare minimum that you should do every day is you should do 5 puzzles every day. Watch one educational chess video, not some brain rot chess video, but educational chess video, and then play one rapid game and analyze them. If you do that just to start into chess, like after a long time you've been inactive because you haven't been improving, then by slowly starting in, you will see that progress just by the compounding interest of all the training that you've been doing, and you will break that plateau. The last takeaway that I would want to give is don't quit. Keep on chugging despite all the hardships you face, because I know a lot of people, they have heartbreaking losses. They have strings and strings of losing tournaments and losing days, and they just keep on seeing their elo go on free fall, and they ask themselves, is it really worth it? I'm just gonna lose, and it's honestly upsetting me so much, and I'm losing sleep over it, so why would I play chess? But, that's the difference between winners and losers. If you quit, you're never going to be able to see your vision. You're never going to be able to go to that next level and, envision yourself there. So what I want you to do is I want you to envision yourself being at the rating that you want to be. Now that you have that envisioned, I want you to promise me that you're not going to quit. Because quitting is the number one enemy. Once you stop playing in those tournaments and once you stop playing chess, that's honestly the biggest culprit. It's not even not breaking the plateau. It's that people who give up after they reach the plateau and they stop playing chess anymore. They start losing love for the game. So even if you can't break your plateau, as long as you keep on playing and keep that love for the game, that's all that really matters, honestly. But if you want to break it, which you can, there's nothing stopping you. It can take days, months, or even years to break those plateaus. But if you keep on putting that consistent effort and you keep on working towards your goal, I promise you will succeed. No matter the hardships, no matter the hard losses, no matter all the obstacles that come your way, you will succeed. Now, thank you so much for watching, and let me know in the comments what video to do next, and I hope you have a blast. Take care.